All right, welcome into another episode of the Great League. I am here with Cameron. Cameron, is that a little glass of red?
You really gotta let that sort of emanate in your mouth to taste a good glass of Cabernet.
Is that how you're supposed to drink it?
I don't know.
Well, how are you, Cam? I know in the sports betting world, you're 12 days sober. Is that at all affect your fantasy? I noticed you lost last week. Was that an effect? You just weren't paying as much attention?
Yes, yes. I am not as ingrained in the sports world. I'm also a little bit dejected. Um, I went to the Red Wings game last night. They lost 5-0. Well, they went down 5-0 about 28 minutes in. Wasn't fun. Paid a lot of money for that ticket at MSG. And then that was also following a Michigan State collapse against James Madison. So sports just aren't my thing right now. I'm not having as much fun as I was probably a month ago, but I still love them. I'm still here. I show up, and I face adversity like a man.
And sometimes that's all you can ask for. So I respect you for hopping on here. There was a lot of false promises, which is becoming a reoccurring problem with this league of people saying they're going to be on the pod and then not showing up. But hey, that's life.
There are
And
some circumstances this week, a lot of talk, not much action.
yeah, so I mean, the biggest news is me and you have flipped spots. I'm now in the top three. I made two trade attempts this week because I realized I need to make a trade to, if I want to compete this year, I need to make a trade to compete with Nick and Alex. And unfortunately, I was not able to make that trade. So I'm stuck with my.
What was that trade?
There was two different players on two different teams.
Care to delve into who?
Well, one was, if you can look down in the rankings here, it's the last place team titled "This Team is a Scam." I made a trade to him, or proposal to him, that hey, your season's looks like it's done.
Yeah,
I
he's not given up yet. He
I
doesn't
can
do
give you
that quite
draft
yet.
capital if I can have some, and nope. And then another one with a team not too far behind him, but I didn't realize he was in fifth place, Team JC. I also made a deal. I liked it at the time. And then after further contemplating it, I got cold feet and backed out. But I need a wide receiver. I need a wide receiver to compete with these guys. And I'm just trying to find a legit wide receiver. Unfortunately, Long Snappers has no one worthwhile. Liam has no one worthwhile. And you're still in it. So my only two options are Adrian and Johnny. So I went for their two big boys and was unsuccessful.
If you're in the market, everyone and everything has a price.
I just don't want to screw myself too much and then just not be able to compete because third place gets you nothing. Does it? Is there a payout for third?
You're the commish.
Yeah, I don't remember the doc. But anyways, I might try to make a final push. This week's a wash for me. We can get into that in a second. But this week I'm going to get murdered. But yeah, let's just quickly talk about last week. Who was it? Highest scorer? I mean, it's
That
either
was Alex.
it's either Alex or Nick every single game, every single week.
Yeah, Alex is building a nice little bankroll here. I need to update the document. For those of you who have not won the $20 highest pay, or the highest scorer gets paid $20 each week, you have the option to get paid out that week. Liam is the only one who chose to get paid out week of. That was a curious decision. I think it was based off of not receiving interest. Just the most Liam thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Alex has 4 highest scoring weeks. He has built up $80 in the bank for himself. Nick has 40. I have 20, but it's already my money. And then Wyatt, you have 120. So
Yep.
you have the ability to build a little bankroll for the end of the year.
Yeah.
And you are correct. Third place does not receive a payout. First place receives 700. Second place receives 260. And then whoever decides to build a bankroll for highest paying.
I could really use that 700. Yeah, so I need to make a move. Anyways, I beat long snappers. My team was decimated in buys. That didn't really mean anything because Matt only put up 91 points. I was no way competitive. I put up 119, but wasn't close. Alex beats Sassafras, which is Liam's new team. 154 for Alex and Liam 112. Wilberding won 147 to 135. Competitive game there, probably the most competitive game. Well, not yet. But yeah, I mean, again, Nick and Alex are putting up big boy numbers, and it's terrifying. Um, big boy numbers. And then you, unfortunately, lost to Adrian, 108 to 112.
Yeah, my guys just didn't show up.
And that happens. That's my guys have already ruled this week out. They're
Yep.
not playing this week. This isn't
Yep.
our week. Do you want to get into the fiasco of Thursday or Saturday night? Whose idea was to make a trade Saturday night, by the way? That whole fiasco?
It's been discussed on this podcast before that there is a certain individual in this league whom replies to texts at an interval that is unbelievably slow. Um, so deals take quite a while to progress, and that's totally fine. I want to work at his speed. I want to make him feel comfortable, right? Especially when I'm sort of a seller, or in this case, I'm actually a buyer. You'd think he'd hold up a little bit better service. So these trade talks began, I'd say, Wednesday night. They progressed into Saturday after being ghosted for over 36 hours. We finally came to an agreement, and upon the notification going to the league that the trade went through, I received a text message from an individual who shall remain to be unnamed saying that your trade breaks the rules. It is in the spirit of the rules, but it technically does break the rules. I went and well, I actually replied how, because I didn't know that. Hand up to God on my Cabernet. Um, I went into the rule book. My thought, what I going into the trade, I thought you can trade only one of your top two and then two of your top five. It's actually one of your top three, two of your top five. And I was trading away my second overall or second round pick, I believe. So
And you already traded away.
my fourth, which kind of sucks.
You can only trade away one out of your
Or
top
no,
five. I thought it was one of your top three, two of your top five.
yeah, no, sorry, I traded away my third. So I
Hmm.
can only trade away one of my top three and two of my top five. Even though I have two fifths and two first round picks. So I traded away my second in this trade, not knowing that it really broke the rules. Saw that it did, texted the group, and chaos ensued.
Yeah, I mean, we will have to make amends to the rule book next year, or at least discuss draft pick trading because an 8-man league is different than a 10 or a 12-man league for sure. So that is something we have to discuss. But I think the biggest thing was it's hard for us to change a rule mid-season. So I think that's the reason. I think that's kind of on my boat why I decided to abide by the rules that were written.
I think that the Constitution was written in 1780 something, 8 years after the Declaration, I believe, something around there. We have a Supreme Court to interpret those rules and understand the spirit of those laws. I don't think I was breaking the spirit of the rules, which are to prevent decimating your team for the future. I have currently six, no, wait, yes, six top five in terms of rounds picks next year. So I'm not selling away my future. My proposal is that instead of saying you can only trade away one of your top three and two of your top five, you can't have less than like three top 5 round picks. Because in my case, I acquired an asset and I'm kind of landlocked where I can't send away my first round pick anymore. So that would be my proposal. The rules are the rules. I unknowingly broke them. I admitted that. I should have been better. That is what happened. I wish the trade went through because I wasn't trying to fuck anything up.
No, I don't think you were. I was just trying to play by the rules that are written, and I understand there can be amends to the Constitution, to the Great League Constitution,
What
but
is the 19th Amendment?
if the Great that doesn't exist in the Great League,
What do you think of the Second Amendment?
right to bear arms. Yeah, that exists. But yeah, so that was a big news in the league. Supposedly, we're supposed to have a couple guests on here to discuss that news, but I guess you like better just listening to it a day later. Anything else before this week?
No, I think it's the loudest, antagonists to that trade were the individual I was playing that week, Adrian, who thinks he's still in it. Just delirious. And Nick, who just wants a good shot at winning the money, obviously. So if I were in their position, I'd probably be doing the same thing, although I would probably also have some integrity.
Yeah, yeah. I that's why it's hard to judge because there's a couple. It's like the Big Ten stuff right now. Every single. Why wouldn't the Big Ten want Michigan punished?
Speaking of Big Ten, what is your background?
Yeah, Connor Stallions moved out. I moved in. Anyways, let's get to this Week 10 matchup. We'll first start with what's going to be a slaughter. Me versus Alex. Alex is already projected to outscore me by 15 points. I am without Kelsey. I am without Tua. Alex is without Tyreek Hill, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, so this is why I was trying to make trades. Alex, when you look at the actual wide receiver rankings, has Tyreek, which is number 1,
Yep.
Keenan Allen, which is number 4, and
Yep.
Stephon Diggs, which is number 3.
Yeah.
So he has 1, 3, 4 in wide receivers.
Yeah, Keenan Allen, it's a bit skewed or impacted because he had those two sort of back-to-back unbelievable weeks, obviously. Since then, his production has dipped, but is still a very good player. Although you got to wonder, he's 31. Having Tyreek and Stephon Diggs is a duo made from hell. And then he's also got Garrett Wilson, who should have been probably better this year if he had, obviously, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just outmanned there. I mean, I have wide receiver 11 with St. Brown. I have wide receiver 13 with Mike Evans, wide receiver 18 with Scary Terry, who's trash, and wide receiver 42 with Calvin Ritt. Like, I'm just outmanned. So I'm trying to make a trade. I'm still trying to. But yeah, there's no way I'm going to win this week. So I'm going to give it to Alex. He's just better at every position. Unless T-Law goes off against San Francisco 49ers defense, which he's not going to, I'm fucked.
Is T-Law Sunshine? Is that a reference to Remember the Titans?
Yes.
Was he batting for the other side?
It never was confirmed.
Up for interpretation.
Up for interpretation, yeah. Nowadays, probably yes, but the movie was made in what, 99?
Yeah.
Nowadays, if that movie came out, he would be a tranny.
He'd probably be fucking a pig.
Okay. Do you want me to beep that out?
Nope. Keep that in.
I just lost my page here. Next team up, number 2, Wilberding, against against Island Boy. Island Boy is actually
Avatar always gets you, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's actually projected to win this by 10 points.
Yeah, he has a strong projection team. We've got to give it where credit is due. Strong projection team. A lot of that. Brees Hall, 20 points projected. What is Sleeper taking? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And Javonte Williams at 17 points.
Bijan
at 17. Bijan hasn't gotten 5 points.
Brees has broken that projection twice this year. I don't know about his career, but it's not much more than that. 4 times in his entire career, and he's projected that in like 25 games played. So the projections, I think, don't tell the full story, which also, when you go to Island Boy's game, you see how it says the projection is 154, but then the average fantasy points is 114.97. These projections are way off in his case, unfortunately for Adrian.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go the underdog, Nick. Obviously, I think Nick would still even a 10-point dog here in regards to projecting. I think Nick would still be minus 150 in this matchup. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with
I'd
Nick.
agree. I'd agree. And Nick's team, he gets back McCaffrey off a bye. Kenneth Walker, who just got shoved down a tailpipe last week and the week before. Is it time to worry in Seattle? Is it time to worry about Kenneth Walker?
I don't know.
He's also got Devontae Adams
I
again.
kind of hope he
Is
just keeps sucking. To be honest,
does Nick have some alarm bells going off internally,
I mean
thinking what
he has Brown on the bench, Hurts on the bench,
Saquon is arguably on the worst team in the league?
Pittman is inconsistent. Mari Cooper is inconsistent. Yeah, I mean, Alex's team scares me most. I'll be straight up honest. I went to Adrian for CD Lamb. That's who I was
Oh,
trying to snag.
CD's nuts.
Yes, that's who I wanted. I think he would been a game changer on my team.
He is number 5 wide receiver overall.
He's
He's gone
he's
off the last 3 weeks.
he is he's on the wrong team, and I can't blame CD. I can only blame his coach and his manager because his potential could be so much higher.
Would you
So
keep CD if you were Adrian? He was taken in the second round. At the very end of the second round, would you spend a second round pick on him to keep him for next year?
like for next year,
Yeah, as a keeper.
um, it's too early to say now. I mean a second round, man. He was one
It's
of the
like
better
it's a
second rounds,
top
but
16 pick.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely you wouldn't keep Bijan anymore. F that guy.
That was a mistake by me taking him 6th overall
Way to get rid of him.
for a first rounder.
But I mean, his team doesn't really have anyone that would stay, so I think you got to take him, got to keep him. I don't think Waddle's worth keeping this year. So yeah, I think you would got to keep CD.
He might have a team. He might keep like Ayuk and then pick completely new after that.
Yeah, I mean,
There's no one that's really worth keeping. That's maybe Brees Hall, depending on how he finishes the year.
yeah, it's not good.
He
It's not
doesn't
good.
even have a first round pick, so he can't keep Bijan or Eckler as of now.
Yeah. Anyways, I want CD Lamb. It's the only way I'm going to be able to compete. Third place gets me nothing. Let's move on. We have Sissy Sassafras versus Long Snappers. This is going to be a shootout here. 116 to 109. Liam's slight favorite.
Richter doesn't have a running back
Matt's
yet.
without a running back and his defense on a bye.
So Richter will be the favorite going in.
Yes. Who is Liam starting at RB2?
Looks like Keaton Mitchell, the new Baltimore Raven rookie who went off last week.
Did he go off?
Yeah, he did.
21 points.
In
So
garbage
did Gus
time.
Edwards though.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, see, I would want to trade with Liam, but who
There's
on
no
his
one.
team? Who on his team
He
would I want?
has 0 assets. I think Zay Williams might be a pickup, but I think he might keep him. I don't know if he's even available. 2 guys that he's probably going to keep are on the IR, A Chain and Kyron Williams. Liam's lineup, let's go through it. Joe Burrow, obviously good. He's turning it up. Jalen Warren, RB2 behind Najee Harris and Steelers at the Steelers. Keaton Mitchell, Chris Godwin, trash. Jordan Addison, J. Jeff is
He'll be
coming
a
back.
keeper.
He
Yeah,
might be a keeper. Taysom Hill at tight end. I guess that's a good play for tight end because he does
yeah,
like
throws,
60 million things.
patch, runs.
T. Higgins, who's been trash up until this point, even with last week scoring 18, he's wide receiver 53. Deontay Johnson, first touchdown in since 2019.
Yeah,
And then Young Wei Koo and the Falcons defense against the Arizona Cardinals. Liam's
he
team,
might. He would you keep A Chain?
I'd keep A Chain. I might keep Tank Dell.
Yeah,
And then I'd probably keep Jordan Addison was 11th, so he'd be a 10th round pick. Liam's problem, he's got to acquire some 10th rounders because all of his keepers are some of those wire waivers.
yeah. So, anyways, you can see why I didn't want to make a trade with Liam because there's no one.
He's
There's
got
no
three.
one. There's no one that could benefit my team on there.
Liam's got
Um,
3 10th round picks.
so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go long snapper in this matchup. Hopefully, he changes his lineup. RB. He'll probably put in James Cook. I'm guessing, and then defense, someone else.
Yeah,
Um,
Matt, credit to Matt. He's always coming up with some trade ideas.
but also, like I looked at Matt's team because Matt's team, he says he's about done. I don't. His best player is DJ Moore, and I don't want that.
Now, Matt
Puka.
continues to try and fight, but Matt doesn't know how to right size a trade. Today I was offered George Kittle, fine, for DeAndre Hopkins and my 2024 fifth round pick. That's expensive for George Kittle.
Hey, that's my pick.
Credit to you, Matt. You're staying in the fight.
All right, let's go to the final game. You versus Johnny, 147 to 121. Johnny hasn't adjusted his lineup. Ooh. Do
You
I
like
see
that?
that correctly?
Do you like that?
Is that General Puss making a comeback? You're starting him first game back?
Mr. GP.
They're the underdogs at home to the Falcons.
Correct. It's either him or Mr. Stroud, and CJ is going on the road to Cincinnati.
I love Texans plus 6.5.
Do you really?
It's so obvious. Everyone's going to think CJ Stroud's going to have a come back to Jesus moment, and you can get the Bengals under a touchdown. Everyone's going to hammer Cincinnati at home. Give me CJ. Get Murray out of your lineup. Actually, you know what? Keep him in because I need you to lose.
Murray presents such a running threat, and he's fully off the injury report. He's healthy. If we don't go to his history, if you go to his history, for the first 3 years of his career, he was QB 6, 3, and then 10. Pretty good.
Are you enjoying Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson? Jonathan Taylor's been going off. That was a bad trade for me.
Jonathan Taylor, yes, I like him. I like him quite a bit. Justin Jefferson, I hope he can come back. Probably not this week. Probably next week. He was limited in practice today. He is back on the practice field. If I can get Justin back, I'll have Justin and Jamar Chase, Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones, Patty Mahomes, and then from there everything kind of falls off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go you in this matchup still. However, so I'm just gonna be completely transparent. Cooper Kupp was the other player I was going after.
I assumed that.
And the problem with the more I was reading into it, it's Stafford might be out for the season. And do we want Rippin for Kupp? With Kupp? He fucked up his thumb bad.
Is Stafford out for the season? Because I'm still in talks with a young man that goes by John Kotz.
Stafford, his thumb's messed up. It's not confirmed yet. It says it's much more serious than people are saying.
Johnny, the price I'm offering just went down.
Who did you want? Kupp too?
Yeah, that was part of my initial trade.
Yeah, what were you scheming with, Johnny?
Well, originally it was that Kupp and Debo for my 2nd and 7th or something, 2nd and 10th.
I was giving
that got rolled back.
I was going to give Mike Evans and a second for Kupp, and I wanted a 7th or a 6th.
This is live insight into the brain of Wyatt Badtorf,
and
ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, I gave him Scary Terry and a second, and I wanted Kupp and a 7th, and he countered with Mike Evans and a 10th.
Wow.
So I said no.
Oh, John, you might just die in the middle of the pack now. I don't know if I want Kupp anymore.
And I don't know if that's true, but I mean, I read it yesterday that his thumb is severely messed up. It's a ligament in his throwing thumb.
The problem for you and I We are in basically the same position right now. We need to acquire another piece, right?
if we want to compete.
If we want to compete with the top two, which
And
is Nick and
I'm
Alex right
I'm
now.
just really having a hard time. Besides your team, any other team that has pieces that are
There's
one.
there's no assets out on the market
There's
that are
CD
even
Lamb.
worth it
CD
right now.
Lamb is the only one that I think
But
is.
but he's owned by someone that is delusional. Until maybe week, what is it, 11? How many weeks are there until the playoffs? Just so
Playoffs
everyone knows.
starts. We changed it because
I
of
think
the
it's week
buys.
13.
Yeah, I believe
Week
so.
14 is the first week. So this is week 10. You've got 4 weeks from now to the playoffs.
I know.
So
Okay. So here's the thing: the playoffs that I just realized. Ooh, this is good. Nick's team, I think we both just agreed, is kind of beatable. Nick's team doesn't scare me that much. Alex's team terrifies me. So if you're the fourth seed, you're screwed. But if you're a third seed, you can squeak in there to the championship game, guarantee yourself second because Nick's team's beatable.
So there are 4 weeks until the playoffs. That would put Alex at worst at 8-5, and that's him losing out. I think he's mathematically clinched the playoffs. Alex is in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nick would be 7-6 at worst. Let's call it like 9-4. It just goes 500 down the stretch. John's at 3-6. He would have to win out to get to 7-6. I don't see Johnny winning out. I wish I could say it for him, but he just won't. Liam won't. We know he's already starting. Matt, I don't know. Matt could make a run. I don't. Island Boy could come back, and if I lost this week, he would be in fourth if he wins.
Who are you playing again, Johnny?
Well, actually, I have more points for, and that's the tiebreaker. Yeah, I played Johnny. So Island Boy, I think, has the most legitimate shot of coming back, and I guess that's why he's not selling quite yet. Props to him. But Alex is in the playoffs. Nick's in the playoffs. You're probably in the playoffs, especially now being 5-4. I'm fighting for my damn life out here. No one wants to play. Jamar Chase put up like 8 points.
Yeah, it's. I think I'm just gonna be stuck with my team, and I just gotta hope Mike Evans and Scary Terry get it done. And
Yeah,
that's
4
terrifying to
weeks.
say.
And then the trade deadline is what week? Week 13?
Week 11, I think. I think it's
Oh.
next week.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, let me check here.
Also, the
Yeah,
playoffs are
week
2
11th.
weeks.
2 weeks each.
Yeah, 2-week matchups, which I like because there's also buys in week 13, and then I think after week 13 they
Well,
end.
playoff starts 14. We pushed it back.
That's why yeah, you're right. You're right. I even recommended that and I forgot.
But
Yeah,
still, I'm a
so
little worried that the championship game, week
17.
17, will people bench?
Not really, because there's still week 18.
I know,
That's
but
the week
like,
they'll bench. Like,
yeah, but say
I mean,
the
if the
Chiefs
Chiefs,
are 15-1.
then I'm fucked. Well,
Yeah.
they lost 2 games.
Oh yeah, they just lost. Is anyone one loss?
Eagles.
Yeah, say the Eagles are 15-1. That would be great for Nick's, or terrible for Nick's team.
Yeah. The Cowboys could be up there though, and then the
Yeah.
Lions are breathing down their neck. I don't know. We will see. There's no best way to do it. It is what it is.
Especially with 8 teams, like you got to do. I feel like you got to do 2-week playoffs. It makes it more
Yeah.
fun too.
2-week playoffs are the way to do it, especially for an 8-week team, and it gives everyone it's probably a fairer structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 week,
Well,
someone can go off for 40.
you got anything else to add? Me and you have to go hit some drops at Tilted.
Nothing to add. I'll be honest. This episode was probably pretty dry.
I think it was just us spitballing back and trying to figure out our teams.
I don't know if there's much to crack a laugh or a smile at.
was a long
I
one.
think this is a result of people being cowards and not coming on when they say they are, and not being men and going back behind their word. Matt, I look forward to seeing your shotgun again. Try to make it shorter than this video.
All right. That's all I got, boys. Good luck this week, everyone, except you, Alex, you coward and a fraud and overconfident pussy. All right. See you guys next week.